You know, when a man reaches his later years, he starts remembering the things he once tried hard to forget, people he couldn't save, signs he ignored, and the mistakes that still whisper to him in the dark. Tonight, I'm going to tell you a story that Elvis Presley never wanted the public to hear. A story from the lips of the one man who walked away from the king, not because he stopped caring, but because he cared too much. But before we start, if you love untold stories from the past, take a moment to like this video and subscribe. It helps these memories live on. Now, let me take you back. His name was Jack Lawson. Not many fans know that name. But for almost 8 years, Jack was one of the few people who saw Elvis Presley without the spotlight, without the smile, without the stage. Jack wasn't like the other bodyguards. He wasn't loud, wasn't flashy, didn't gamble, didn't flirt, didn't push his way into photographs. Elvis liked him because he was quiet, loyal, and honest. Jack, Elvis often said, "You don't treat me like Elvis Presley. You treat me like a man." And Jack always replied, "That's all you ever wanted, E." For years, Jack watched him laugh, sing, joke, and light up every room he entered. But he also watched Elvis ache and break, piece by piece. One night in 1974, after a long show in Vegas, Jack found Elvis alone in the dressing room, head in his hands, barely breathing right. On the table beside him were 6 different pill bottles. "Elvis, you okay?" Jack asked gently. Elvis didn't look up. "Jack, my body hurts. My soul hurts. Even my dreams hurt." Jack knelt in front of him. "Then take a break. Cancel the next show. Get help." But Elvis shook his head. "The Colonel won't allow it. And the fans. They came to see me. I can't disappoint them." Jack felt something he'd never felt before around Elvis's fear, real fear. Because he'd seen this path before in other men. Men who tried to fill their emptiness with whatever they could swallow. Men who didn't make it out alive that night. Jack made himself a promise. "If Elvis ever crosses the line where he's no longer safe, I'll walk away. I won't watch him destroy himself." He prayed he'd never have to keep it. But what Jack saw next would push him to a breaking point. A moment he never shared publicly until years later. Because there was one night, one decision, that convinced him Elvis Presley, the most loved man in America, was no longer Elvis at all. It was June 1976. Elvis had a show in St. Louis. Jack walked into the hotel suite and froze. Elvis was slumped on the couch, pale, sweating, eyes half open, mumbling words Jack couldn't understand. A doctor one Jack had never seen before was preparing a shot. "What's that?" Jack asked. "Just something to get him on stage," the doctor replied without looking up. Jack stepped between them. "He doesn't need a shot. He needs a hospital," the doctor scoffed. "The Colonel said, keep him performing. That's my job." Jack felt his fists clench. "Elvis is a man, not a machine," he said. Elvis whispered weakly, "Jack, don't fight. I gotta do the show." Then Elvis tried to stand and collapsed. Jack caught him before he hit the floor. That was it. That was the moment. The promise he made in 1974 whispered, "If he crosses the line, walk away." Jack carried Elvis to his bed, covered him, and sat beside him until he drifted into a shaky sleep. Then he wrote a note. Just one line, "I'm sorry, but I can't watch anymore." When Elvis woke and read it, he didn't stop. Jack didn't shout, didn't ask him to stay. He just nodded and whispered to Charlie Hodge, Jack loved me enough to leave.